Hello folks, welcome to a bit of a different video here, but before we start, make sure you like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, comment down below, because the main reason that I'm doing this video is for interaction, for you guys to get your opinions, and I want to read everybody's opinions on the new Wwe 2K25 roster. The purpose of this video is quite simple. I'm going to show you all the new people that are in. I'm sure you've already seen it. We're going to talk about people who I think should have an updated render. We're going to do some ups and some downs. And then we're going to talk about superstars that have been removed. Then we're going to have a look at the roster. I have a list of people that has been made, of people who didn't make it into the game, who maybe should have made it into the game. So let's get straight into the people that are in the game. We'll focus on that aspect first and foremost. So as you can see on my screen here, we have a full list of renders of new people in Wwe 2K25. I also, alongside this, have on another page a full list of people who didn't make it. We have a full list of the full roster, where I'm going to just quickly go over the people that I've seen that have been updated, and people that I hope are updated, and people that I've seen that aren't updated that should be updated, if that makes sense. But I want you guys, before we do any of this stuff, in your comments, I want the biggest W addition to this game, and I want your biggest disappointment to the roster, whether it be somebody that's removed, somebody that hasn't made it, or somebody who should be in there but isn't in there, if that makes sense. So we're going to go through. I'm not going to talk about everyone. I'm really happy that the Wild Samoans and the whole bloodline are here. You see Fatu here. And this one's what I'm really happy about, Rosie. I don't know how old you are watching this match, but I don't know if you guys are aware, but this is Roman Reigns' brother, his older brother, obviously sadly passed away. He's part of the tag team with Hurricane. It was a brilliant tag team. I'm not sure if Hurricane's in the game, but that would be cool to relive Hurricane and Rosie. But he was part of the, I believe it was the 1 Minute Warning faction. We have Head Shrinkers, which is Rikishi, if you don't know Rikishi. That was him and Samu. I believe, is Samu the father of Jacob Fatu? I think these two were twin brothers, and I think Samu is the father of Jacob Fatu. Then we got Islander Tama, Jamal, who will be with Rosie as part of the warning. I'm quite surprised to see them in there. Then we look at other superstars that made it. Ackerman Razar, Electra Lopez, I want to cover them. Obviously, they've been released from WWE recently. I don't know if you see this as a good thing or a bad thing. I'm quite happy they made it, because I'm going to use the AOP in my universe mode. If you haven't seen my universe mode, make sure you check it out. But they might have been released, which could be gut-wrenching, but you know, at least they're still playable. They'll receive royalties from the game and everything. And then down here, we look at some of the managers. I'm really happy with the managers. Armando Estrada for Umaga. He was such a big part in Umaga's introduction into the WWE. Mr. Fuji, obviously, for Yokozuna. We have Paul Ellering for the AOP. Lou Albano. Didn't expect him to be in. And we have Afa as a manager when he managed the Wild Samoans, I believe. Not the Wild Samoans, sorry. The Head Shrinkers. And then we're going to talk about the Wyatt Six now. And like current superstars in a minute. Let's cover some of the legends. Alundra Blaze has got an updated render, which I think is right. I mean, I'm not expecting you as the audience to know much about Alundra Blaze, unless you're a similar age to me. She was pretty iconic in the 90s. In the World Wrestling Federation, was a trailblazer for the women. Actually went over to WCW and threw the WWE Women's Championship in the bin on live television. That was quite a monumental moment in professional wrestling during the Monday Night Wars. I'm just scanning over to see if there's any new legends. And obviously Peter Maivia, Rocky Maivia, that's quite a nice tribute to the bloodline as well, father and son. So it's good to see them in there. So let's have a look at the superstars that are actively in WWE that have been added. We have Andrade, should have been in the last year's in my opinion. I don't know when he got there at the Rumble, which is January, so it was quite a big ask, but I feel like Andrade was a pivotal return. Charlie Dempsey, now this one I'm a bit bummed out of, we'll talk later. I feel like if you're adding Charlie Dempsey, you could at least add maybe Ren Sinclair. I feel like just putting Charlie in there on his own, it's not quite capturing him. Didn't talk about Brother Love, obviously part of the Dead Man edition. Did manage The Undertaker for a little bit. This guy had the pinkest face I've ever seen in my life. I don't actually know to this day how his face was so pink, but maybe gets really bad sunburn wherever he goes. But a brilliant manager nonetheless. Eddie Thorpe, such a brilliant addition, one I didn't actually expect. So I'm quite pleasantly surprised at that. As for the Wwe 6, I'll be honest, I'm not interested in using them. I think the fact that they haven't been utilised on TV that well is part of the reason that I don't want to use them. So I have no interest in the Wwe 6, unfortunately. Just an opinion. Maybe you guys are super excited to use them. I'm not. Really happy about this addition, Ethan Page. Probably my favourite male addition to this entire roster is Ethan Page. Such a great heel. We have Haku, the father of Tama Tonga. That's also... a lot of people say he's the hardest man in professional wrestling, so good to see him make the roster. Surely you guys will use that. Maybe you could do Tama and Haku, the tag team. We have a different Hunter Hearst Helmsley. This is the... when he transferred over from WCW to WWF, he came in as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a butler. It's quite an awful persona, I'm not going to lie. Quite an awful gimmick, but yeah, here we go. Jacob Fatu, 87 overall as well. I'm very happy about this one. I think it was always a given that Jacob would come into the game with the Bloodline edition. Now for the women. There's 3 women on this entire page that I'm really, really happy about. There's some that are missing that I'm not. Jada was number 1 for me. I didn't think we'd get her, and I'm deadly serious. I didn't think she'd be in the game. Despite the controversy, I love Jada Parker, and I had big plans for my universe mode. I think she's a great, she's a great person to book against people like Bianca Belair and powerhouses like Rhea Ripley. I think she really offers that dynamic. And then the second, the 2 and 3 is Lash and Jakara. I wanted these so badly last year. I'm a bit disappointed they did not actually appear last year. So I did expect these 2 to make the game. Jada I wasn't expecting, so that's a pleasant surprise for me. So I want you guys to put your biggest W and your biggest L in the comments. My biggest W for me personally is Jada Parker, because I didn't expect it. It would be these 2 girls if I didn't expect it, but I did expect it. Jada for me, I'm happy about. Javon, so it looks like they've invested in NXT a bit. Didn't expect him to make it to the game, by the way. But I'm really happy. His moveset's going to be crazy in the game. Kalani, kind of did expect her to make it into the game, because probably during the time that they were producing this game, she was North American champion, so she was quite prominent. But I'm very happy she's in. Kiana, never on TV, she's injured, but she's on the main roster still. She's on Raw. This is a good addition. I think there's quite a bit of possibility with Kiana. Lexis, again, one that I wasn't sure would make it. Pleasant surprise. Another W. Lola Vice. I'm very happy about her addition for multiple reasons. But I'm really happy she's in game. I did expect her to make the game, actually, with her underground influence, and I believe she's got an undefeated streak. I think this was a pretty obvious one. She was actually revealed quite early. Naomi should have been in 2K24. They already had a model for her. So that's just a given. I think she should have been in 2K24. Nick Aldis as a manager, again, should have been in 2K24. So nothing between these 2 that surprised me or I'm overly, so happy with. Had no surprises there. They should have been in 2K24, these 2. Oba, again, another one that I fully expected to be in this game. And then we go to a contrasting opinion. Did not expect Oro Mensah in the game. I did expect the Meta Girls, but I didn't expect Oro Mensah. That kind of makes Metaphor complete. Good job, WWE 2K25 with that. Razar, we've touched on. Sean Spears, such a random person out of all the people that we could have had to put in. But I'm happy he's there. And of course, Sol Ruka. She nearly did actually make it in the 2K24, I believe. I think they had the attire already set up. It was just it was a little bit too late. So she was a definite for me. I knew she was going to make it. We have obviously Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, with the same story as Jacob Fatu. Expected them with the Bloodline, and Tatum Paxley to finish Chemical X. That's such a pleasant surprise, this one. I really didn't expect this one, and when I saw this was probably one of the biggest shocks. Jada was the one I wanted, that I was surprised by. This shocked me. I didn't think Tatum would make it. So, yeah, the new guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's have a look at other aspects of the roster. So, guys, now we're going to have a look at people that have been removed. So the Pat McAfee bundle has been removed. I'm quite happy about that, to be honest. As a guy from the UK, I watch the Pat McAfee show, but I'm not very invested in these people. I felt like when I spent $100+ dollars, pounds, whatever you want to call it, on this game, this was quite a disappointing DLC for me. I wouldn't have minded Pat McAfee in the game, but I feel like just having them all in there was just a waste of 5 spots. Bad Bunny, not too bothered about that one. This one's devastating, to be honest, Big Boss Man. I feel like they should have at least given him one 99 outfit. And there's obviously the AEW guys. Cameron Grimes obviously released. Damon Kemp released. Darius Butler. Dijak released. Drew Gulak controversy. Jerry Lawler. Not too bothered about this one, to be honest. I would prefer him to be in the game, but I'm not good about that. Release. Muhammad Ali was just a 1-year thing. The AEW guys. Post Malone, it was a 1-year deal, expected. Robert Roode. Didn't expect this guy to be removed, to be honest. This was quite a shock. I like using him for the entrance, but I'm a bit gutted that he's gone. Sanga release, Scripps release, Shane O'Mac. He's not been in WWE for years. I think that's one that people will be a bit annoyed about, Shane O'Mac. DiBiase. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm got a bit of a cough today. This is a bit of a gutting one, this, because DiBiase really is a legend. But it's unfortunate he hasn't made the game this year. But he's been replaced by some brilliant legends anyway. Ty Schmidt and VM Han obviously released. Remove women, we have Beth Phoenix. Absolutely devastated about that, to be honest. I used to use Beth Phoenix quite a lot, especially in my early Universe Mode days. Ronda to be expected, and Xia Li as well. Excuse me. I am sorry, folks. I sound like terrible. So now we're going to go on the current WWE superstars that didn't make WWE 2K25. And thankfully, this SmackDown Hotel has given us some prompts. So Motor City Machine Guns, they debuted in October 2024. Punk debuted, returned in November 2023, sorry. And he made it as DLC. These have to be in DLC for me, because the tag team division without them does sort of look semi-weak. I think they make the SmackDown tag team division a lot better. I would like to see them in DLC. Penta, obviously the biggest signing of 2025 so far. I think he will be DLC. I don't think they'll leave that out. It's a great marketing opportunity for them. And then we're going to talk about we can have a look at like this kind of stuff, but I'm not going to bother with the notable legends. Let's have a look at NXT superstars, quickly go over this. So obviously the one that people are gutted about, Julia. Now Julia signed for WWE in around, I believe it was October time, if I'm wrong, 2020. No, it was, wasn't it like summer 2024? It was after Mania, wasn't it, last year? This one, so I'm very happy with the roster. This one, I don't know, I don't want to use the words not acceptable, but I feel like Julia should be in the game, and I feel like she's purposely been left out for marketing and to promote DLCs. I feel like Julia could have easily been added into this game. I feel like out of all this list that we're going to go through, well, we're not going to go through every single one. I'm going to just say the ones that I think should have made it, ones that will make it probably. This one's a big miss, guys. We shouldn't be missing out on Julia. She should be in the game. She's the current NXT Women's Champion. I know with Lyra, they brought her in as DLC. She's got to be DLC. She can't not be DLC. There's no excuse for her not being DLC. So I'm sure we'll see her be DLC. These guys I'm not too bothered about. Izzy Dame I would have liked to see. I'd like them to expand on the D'Angelo family. Maybe we could have got Luca Cruzifino in there as well. That would have been nice. Hank and Tank, they're just not there. I think Jasmine Nix should have been in the game. This is another one, a bit like Julia. Makes sense, complete Fatal Influence, and really get to that. Jordan Grace and Carmen Petrovic, I think, will come as DLC. Obviously, Jordan's only just signed, but she was in NXT before, so they've had chance to have that conversation with her, but she was on a TNA contract, you got to remember, so they won't have had time. I think we'll get Carmen. I don't know if we'll get Jordan. I think it'll be a big ask because she's only just signed. Unless they've done some sort of agreement with TNA before, then I don't think that will happen. These guys, Ricky Starks is obviously not going to be in the game, unfortunately. I'd be very surprised. Stephanie Baker, one that I'm gutted about. I really wanted her to make it. I think she'll be DLC, but I understand with Stephanie a bit more than Julia. And Zaria is the other one that I'm a bit gutted about. I think Zaria signed in October her official WWE contract, so I can understand Zaria and Stephanie. I remember Julia appeared I'm sure it was the night after WrestleMania. She should be in the game. The base game. These two I can understand being not in the base game, but I'm a bit annoyed about Julia. That's the only big... So we talked about big W, big L. That is a huge L of gargantuan proportions. Stephanie alone would have sold that DLC. Julia should be in the base game. And now we're going to look over at the full list. So there's just a couple of people I want to talk about. Shotzi, same attire, same hair. Over a year ago, and I know people talk about mocapping and all this stuff. Over a year ago, she got injured, which is what the excuse people are making for the game is. Before she was injured, she had green hair. This was over a year ago. So, Shotzi really needed updating. They didn't do it for whatever reason, which kind of concerns me to what they've done with Gigi Dolin. I hope they had just left her the same. That will be pretty devastating. Nikita's got a pretty similar model, I believe. Natalia's got an upgrade, a more recent render. I think it was long overdue. People really overlook Natalia's contribution to the women's division. I'd like to see Michelle with a bit of a I think we'll get the same Michelle. Maxine, I'd like to see an updated version of. And I think apart from that, who would you guys like to see a new render? Who do you think will get copy and pasted? Who do you think will get a new render? I'm interested to see, but the only ones I've seen, Jade's looks really good. I think they've done a good job on the new renders. Carmelo, they've just changed the trousers of the tights of, which is a bit disappointing. I can't lie, but everything else I'm pretty happy with. I think for me it's a lot more positive than negative. I think for me the only negatives is Julia. I think Julia's a very big negative not being in the game. I really thought she'd be in the game, genuinely. From what I've been through this cycle since they didn't really do roster reveals, but since 2K's inception, I've been in this game, like the wrestling game business, for about 25-30 years now. And this is the first time I've seen like a superstar that is really in the limelight and been well within contract not make it. So that's unfortunate. I can accept it, and I'm sure she'll be DLC. We just have to wait a little bit of time for her. I think with the new edition of the NXT girls, I think we've got plenty to use there. So I'm quite happy with that. Jade, Lash, I think there's plenty there that we can use. Sol, Lola. But I'm just a bit disappointed about that. I would have rather swapped one of these women for Julia, if I'm being honest. One of these new NXT women. I don't know which one, probably any, but I would have just swapped it. And the other negative, for me, it's such a weird one, but it's the Shotzi hair thing. That really annoys me. I don't know why it annoys me so much, but it just does. So that's essentially it. I am overall happy with the roster reveal. I'm very happy with the dynamics, the investment in NXT. I'm excited to see what DLCs come up. I want to know your guys' opinions, so please let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next one. Peace.